Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and let's go.
He thought he was living a secure little, 15-year foundation, but an invisible shadow was slowly eroding everything he called home. Watch closely as a single digital notification unmasks a deception so cold, it will change how you look at your own front door. It was a Thursday, just a regular, humid Thursday night in Chicago. The kind of night where the air feels like a wet wool blanket. My wife, Lily, had this corporate thing. You know the deal, some team-building mixer at a bar near Wacker Drive. New project, new energy, all that corporate garbage. She told me she'd be home by midnight, latest. Friday was a work day, after all. I fell asleep on the couch watching some rerun of a game I did not even care about. When I woke up, the house was quiet. Too quiet. You know that silence? The kind that rings in your ears? I looked at the clock on the microwave. 3:42 a.m. My heart did this weird little stutter step. I walked into the bedroom. The sheets were pulled back on her side, but they were flat, cold. I ran my hand over the fabric. Nothing. No warmth. Just the smell of her laundry detergent and a whole lot of empty space. I checked my phone. 0 messages, no missed calls, nothing on WhatsApp. Now, look, Lily is not a party girl. She's the kind of woman who texts me when she's 10 minutes late from the grocery store because she got stuck behind a slow cashier at Whole Foods. For her to be gone at nearly 4 a.m. without a word? That was not just staying out late. That was a red flag the size of a Texas Cadillac. I called her. It went straight to voicemail, that automated voice telling me the user was unavailable. I called again. Same thing. My stomach started to do those slow, agonizing flips. You ever feel that? Like you've got a live wire sparking in your gut. I started pacing. I went to the kitchen, poured a glass of water, and ended up just staring at the sink. My mind was racing down every dark alley it could find. Car accident? Mugging? Did she trip on a curb in those stupid high heels she wears for these events? I called Macy, her best friend. I felt like a jerk waking her up, but I did not care. It rang 6 times before she picked up, sounding like she was underwater. "Dave? Is everything okay?" she asked. "Lily is not home, Macy. Was she with you?" "No, I stayed in tonight. She said it was just a work thing. Why? What time is it?" "It's almost 4, I said. My voice sounded thin, even to me. "Check with Kelsey," Macy muttered, her voice trailing off. They were supposed to grab a drink after the mixer. I hung up and dialed Kelsey. Kelsey is one of those office types who thinks every Thursday is a chance to relive her sorority days. She picked up on the second ring, but the background noise was a mess. Music, shouting, the clinking of glasses. "Davey, what's up, man?" she screamed into the phone. She sounded trashed, absolutely hammered. "Kelsey, where's Lily?" "Oh, man, Lily, she's a riot," Kelsey giggled. I could practically smell the cheap tequila through the receiver. "We were at the bar on Lincoln. Then some of the guys said we had to hit this new spot. The Red Room or something like that." "The Red Room? Where is that?" "I do not know, Dave. Somewhere west town?" I bailed at midnight. My head was spinning. But Lily, she stayed. She said she had more fun to have. Her words, man, not mine. The line went dead. I just stood there in my living room, staring at a picture of us from our vacation in Maui 3 years ago. We were both smiling. We looked like people who did not have a care in the world. I did not wait. I threw on a pair of jeans, a hoodie, and grabbed my keys to the Chevy. I did not even know what I was looking for, but I could not sit in that quiet house for one more second. The silence was starting to feel like an accusation. I drove. I spent 2 hours circling West Town like a shark. I looked for neon signs, for groups of drunks stumbling out of side street bars, for anything that said Red Room. Nothing. Every place I found with red in the name was closed or did not fit the vibe. I asked a cab driver at a gas station, a guy working a late shift diner, even a couple of kids on skateboards. Nobody knew a Red Room. By 5:30 in the morning, the sky was starting to turn that bruised purple color. I was exhausted, shivering from the early morning chill, and my brain was a mess of worst-case scenarios. I drove back home, my hands gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles were white. I pulled into the driveway just as the sun was peeking over the horizon. I walked into the house, sat on the sofa, and I must have drifted off for a second. The sound of the front door opening jolted me awake. The sun was streaming through the windows now. It was 8:45 a.m. Lily walked in. She looked like a ghost. Her hair, which she usually keeps in this perfect, sleek bob, was a bird's nest. Her makeup was smeared, making her look like a tired raccoon. And the dress, that red silk dress she had been so excited about, it was wrinkled and twisted. She saw me sitting there and she actually jumped. "Where were you?" I asked. I did not yell. I did not have the energy to yell. I just sounded hollow. "Oh my God, Dave, you scared me," she breathed, clutching her chest. I had the worst night." "I bet," I said. "Start talking." "The party, it just went too long," she started, her voice shaking. "I had way too much to drink. I think someone might have put something in my glass, Dave. I felt so dizzy. I called a cab, but I think I passed out in the back. The driver, I do not know. He dropped me at a friend's place, Sarah's. I woke up on her couch an hour ago and saw the time. My phone was dead, and I just panicked, Dave. I did not even stop to brush my hair or wash my face. I just grabbed my keys and ran out the door. I'm so sorry." I looked at her. Really looked at her. I've known this woman for a third of my life. I know her. "I forgot to pay the electric bill," face. I know her, "I accidentally scratched the car," face. This was different. There was a hardness in her eyes, a calculation. And then I smelled it. Beneath the scent of stale wine and sweat, there was a heavy, musky perfume. Something expensive. Something that was not hers. And mixed with it, tobacco smoke. Lily hates smoking. She makes her own father stand 20 feet away from the house if he wants a cigarette. "Sarah's, huh?" I asked. "Yeah, I feel terrible. My head is pounding," she said, already moving toward the bedroom. "I just need to shower and sleep for a few hours. We can talk later, okay?" She did not wait for an answer. She disappeared into the bathroom, and I heard the lock click. That was the first time in 10 years she'd locked the bathroom door while I was home. I sat back down on the couch. I did not cry. I did not punch a wall. I just felt this strange, icy clarity settle over me. Like a fever had finally broken. I did not believe a word of it. Not the cab, not the passing out, not the friend's couch. I knew my wife was lying. I just did not know how deep the lie went. But I was going to find out. I'm a man who believes in facts, and right now, the only fact I had was that my wife smelled like a stranger and could not look me in the eye. Anyway, that was the start of it. The beginning of the end. And the crazy part? The truth was not even hidden that well. It was waiting for me, in a place I never would have expected. The next couple of days were like living in a house made of glass. One wrong move and everything would shatter. Lily was playing the part of the recovering victim. She stayed in bed most of Friday, complaining of a migraine. She was sweet, quiet, and kept saying how lucky she was to have me. It was nauseating. Every time she reached out to touch my arm, I felt like I wanted to jump out of my skin. Saturday, she went shopping. Said she needed some retail therapy at Westfield Old Orchard with a friend. She did not send any pictures. No, "Does this look good on me?" texts. Just silence. I could not just sit there anymore. I'm a guy who likes to fix things. If the sink is leaking, I pull the trap apart. If the car is making a noise, I'm under the hood. My marriage was making a hell of a noise, and I needed to see the engine. I started back at the beginning. That red room Kelsey had mentioned? I spent Sunday morning at a little coffee shop near her office on Wacker Drive. It's one of those places where all the corporate drones go to complain about their bosses. I sat there with a double espresso, just watching. I saw the bartender, a guy named Jim. He looked like he'd seen it all. I waited for a lull and walked up to the bar. "Hey, man," I said, sliding a $5 bill across the wood. "Quick question. You guys had a big group in here last Thursday, right? From the building upstairs?" "Yeah," he nodded, wiping down a glass. "The marketing firm. They were in here until about 11 p.m. Loud crowd. Lots of martinis." "Did you hear them talking about a place called the Red Room?" Jim stopped wiping. He gave me a look, part pity, part warning. "Yeah." Someone brought in a stack of flyers. It's an adult club over near Milwaukee Avenue. They were doing some night of passion thing. Only women allowed, except for the entertainment. You know the type of place. My stomach dropped into my shoes. A woman's club? "Themed night," Jim said, shrugging. "Male strippers, private lounges, the whole 9 yards. A few of the ladies from the office seemed pretty hyped about it. One guy went with them, some tall, dark-haired fella. Jordan, I think they called him. Jordan. I knew the name. I'd seen him drop her off once. He was 20-something, drove a leased Audi, and had that kind of smug grin that made you want to hand him a tooth extraction. I left the cafe and found a pink flyer tucked into a community board by the door. It was bright, garish, and had Red Room printed in bold black letters. Women's Passion, a night without limits, men as guests only. I felt like I'd been kicked in the teeth. Lily told me it was a pizza and beer night, a corporate mixer. She did not mention a night without limits at a strip club with a guy named Jordan. I went home, but I could not go inside. I sat in my truck in the driveway and pulled up our shared accounts on my phone. We've always shared everything, bank accounts, phone plans, even our DoorDash account. It was a matter of trust. Or so I thought. I was scrolling through the banking app, looking for a red room charge. Nothing. She was smart enough to use cash for the drinks. But then I saw something else. A notification popped up from DoorDash. Rate your experience. Your order from Sushi House was delivered to room 402 at the Lincoln Way Hotel. I froze. I tapped the notification. It opened the app. The order was from Thursday night. Well, technically Friday morning. 4:15 a.m. 2 chef's special platters, 2 orders of miso soup, a bottle of ginger ale, and a clear blue rapid detection pregnancy test. The total was $86.42, paid for with our vacation fund debit card. She'd used the points we'd been saving for a trip to the Smokies to buy a pregnancy test and sushi for her and another man. I felt a roar in my ears. But here's the kicker, man. The real FU from the universe? I clicked on the View Delivery Photo button. You know how it works. The driver takes a picture of the food at the door so you can't claim you didn't get it. There was the brown paper bag sitting on the carpeted floor of a hotel hallway. The gold numbers 402 were clearly visible on the dark wood of the door, but the door was slightly ajar. In the frame, a hand was reaching out to grab the bag, a slim, pale hand, and on the wrist was a silver bracelet with a small, heart-shaped charm. I bought her that bracelet for our 10th anniversary. I had it engraved with the coordinates of the beach where I proposed. I'd spent 3 weeks picking it out. I stared at that photo for a long time. The silver reflected the flash of the driver's camera. It was like a beacon, a neon sign saying, "Your life is a lie, Dave." I scrolled down to the delivery instructions. My eyes burned as I read them. Please do not knock or ring. My husband is sleeping. My guy is sleeping. Just leave it at the door of room 402. Be quiet. My husband is sleeping. She'd started to type it, the habit of 15 years. Then she'd corrected it. My guy. Jordan, the guy in the Audi. The guy she was in a hotel room with while I was driving around the city, terrified that she was dead in a ditch. I did not feel sad anymore. The sadness was gone, replaced by something much heavier, much colder. I felt like a machine. I looked at the hotel address, the Lincoln Way. It was only 3 miles from where I was sitting. It was one of those older motels with outdoor walkways, where anyone can just walk right up to the room doors without passing a front desk. I looked at the order again. She'd used 2,400 of our loyalty points to get a discount on the sushi. She was literally nickel and diming our marriage while she was burning it to the ground. And the pregnancy test? That was the part that really stuck in my throat. Was she pregnant? Was it mine? Was it his? Was she checking because she was scared or because she was hoping? I did not go into the house. I did not confront her. Not yet. I had the photo. I had the instructions. I had the receipt. But I wanted one more thing. I wanted to give her a little gift of my own. I opened the DoorDash app. I changed the active account back to my phone. I searched for the Lincoln Way Hotel. I looked for the nearest liquor store that delivered. I found a place called Cheap Owls. I ordered a bottle of their absolute lowest shelf sparkling wine. $7.99. It probably tasted like battery acid and old pennies. I set the delivery address to room 402. In the gift message section, I typed out 10 words. This one is on me. Enjoy. I paid for the test too. I hit place order. Then I sat back, turned off the truck, and waited. I did not know what was going to happen next, but I knew one thing for sure. The pizza and beer night was officially over. I did not go home until 10 o'clock that night. I spent the afternoon at a park, just sitting on a bench, watching people walk their dogs. It's funny how the world keeps spinning when your own life has just hit a brick wall at 60 miles an hour. When I finally walked through the front door, the house felt different. It felt like a stage set, like the furniture was not real. Lily was in the kitchen. She was wearing her comfy sweater, the one I bought her for Christmas. She was humming a song, chopping vegetables for a salad. She looked so normal. It was terrifying. "Hey, honey," she said, smiling at me. "You were gone a long time. I was starting to get worried." The irony was so thick I could have choked on it. I was just thinking, "Dave," she continued, not looking up from the cucumbers, Maybe we should go away next weekend. Just us. Head up to Lake Geneva? We need some us time after that crazy Thursday. I walked over to the kitchen table and sat down. I pulled my phone out and laid it flat on the wood. Yeah, I said. My voice was raspy. We definitely need to talk about Thursday. She froze. The knife stopped moving. She did not look at me for 5 seconds. Then she slowly turned around, putting on her confused face. Dave, I told you. I pass out at Sarah's. It was a mistake. I'm sorry. Funny thing, Lily, I said. I did not know Sarah moved into the Lincoln Way Hotel. Room 402. The color did not just leave her face. It was like someone had pulled a plug. She turned a shade of gray I've only ever seen on a sidewalk. What? What are you talking about? The sushi, Lily. The chef's special. The 2 orders of miso soup. The bottle of ginger ale. And the clear blue test. I turned the phone around. I showed her the delivery photo. The paper bag. The gold numbers on the door. And the hand. Her hand. With the silver heart charm reflecting the light. Is that your hand, Lily? Because it looks a lot like the hand that's been wearing the bracelet I gave you for 10 years of marriage. She dropped the knife. It hit the floor with a dull thud. She didn't even try to pick it up. Dave, listen. No, you listen, I snapped. I felt the heat rising in my neck now. The cold hunter vibe was slipping, and the betrayed husband was taking over. I read the instructions too. My husband is sleeping. My guy is sleeping. That was a nice touch. Really thoughtful of you to keep the noise down while you were on my dime. It was a mistake, she burst out, her voice cracking. I was drunk. I did not know what I was doing. You were drunk enough to navigate a delivery app? You were drunk enough to use our loyalty points to save $3 on a meal for your boyfriend? You were drunk enough to worry about the noise in the hallway? I stood up. I felt 10 feet tall and made of lead. And the test, Lily? What was the result? Are you carrying a little piece of Jordan? Is that why you stayed at the Red Room after everyone else left? She sank onto one of the kitchen chairs and started to sob. Not those quiet, "I'm sorry" sobs. These were loud, jagged sounds. The sounds of someone who'd been caught and had nowhere left to run. It was just one night, Dave. He was flirting with me all week. And I felt, I felt noticed. You're always working. You're always tired. He made me feel like I was 20 again. So you decided to spend our vacation money to celebrate your second youth in a hotel room? I asked. I felt a laugh bubbling up, but it wasn't a happy one. It was the kind of laugh you have right before you lose your mind. I did not mean for it to go that far, she wailed. We went to the club, and then we went to the hotel, and I got scared. I thought maybe I messed up. That's why I ordered the test. I wanted to know before I came home. And? It was negative, she whispered, her head in her hands. Well, that's great, I said. One less thing to deal with in the divorce. She looked up then, her eyes wide and bloodshot. Divorce? Dave, no. It was one night. We can fix this. We've been together 15 years. You cannot throw that away because of one stupid Thursday. It was not just the Thursday, Lily. It was the Friday morning when you walked in and lied to my face. It was the Saturday when you went shopping and probably met him again. It was the way you used us money to buy him dinner. You did not just break a vow. You treated our life like it was a joke. I walked to the hallway and grabbed my coat. "Where are you going?" she screamed. "I sent you a bottle of champagne earlier today, Lily, to the hotel. Did you get it?" She blinked, confused. "What?" "I sent a bottle of Cheap Al's Finest to room 402, with a note. I figured if I was paying for the room and the food, I might as well provide the drinks. Did Jordan like it, or was it too low shelf for him?" She just stared at me. She looked broken, and for the first time in 3 days, I did not feel any pity for her. I just felt finished. "I'm staying at a motel," I said. "Do not call me. My lawyer will be in touch on Monday. Oh, and Lily?" She looked at me, a tiny spark of hope in her eyes. "The silver bracelet? Leave it on the table. It was for my wife, and I do not know who the hell you are." I walked out the door. I did not look back. I got into my Chevy and I drove. I did not have a plan, but for the first time in years, the air felt like it was actually getting into my lungs. They say you can't fix a broken heart, but maybe that's the wrong approach. Some things are not meant to be fixed. They're corrupted beyond repair, riddled with viruses of deceit. The only solution is a full system wipe. Erase everything down to the foundation and start with a clean install. The hero's biggest mistake was not trusting his partner. It was ignoring the scent of the stranger until the evidence was undeniable. When the perfume and the excuses do not match the reality of a cold bed, your gut is already screaming the truth. First, always maintain a healthy level of digital boundaries. Shared accounts are a sign of trust, but they are also where the first cracks appear. Second, never let emotion dictate your reaction. Stoic observation, like our hero displayed, is your best weapon in a legal battle. Finally, understand that a clean break is often cheaper than a patched-up lie. How would you have reacted if you saw that delivery photo? Write your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe for more honest case studies on modern relationships.